So hands and knees wide, knees together. Props if you would like them. You all know the drill. So let yourself get comfy in that child's or in another resting posture. And as you find your stillness here, you might kind of shift side to side here with the hips as you settle in. Find a comfortable position for your arms, whether it's in front of you or hands can stack to make a little pillow for your forehead. That's been one of my faves lately. And start to land here. Anything you are bringing to your mat tonight, know that it's a-okay, however you're showing up. This is an accepting space, both this group and the four corners of your mat. Your yoga mat is never going to judge what you've got going on. So try to be like your yoga mat and let go of any judgments you're holding for yourself and how you are arriving. And then at the same time, even though we're all good how we're showing up, try to release your grip on whatever has happened thus far today. Your day before coming to yoga, your evening ahead, just trying to let it be off to the side at least of your mind and making yourself really, really present. And that presence might come and go. It might kind of wax and wane. And that's perfectly okay, just like everything else. Just notice when your mind starts to drift and bring your awareness back to your breath at those moments. Following the breath in and out of your body here in your child's pose. Noticing if your breath feels pretty steady from the beginning here, or if it's a little reluctant or stressed. Just find a few more rounds here, still making that connection. Last round right here before we rise up. Take it in through your nose. And a nice deep sigh out. Start to move the body. Maybe you start by rolling from temple to temple. And then to release this child's pose, if your fingers are not forward, walk them ahead to the top of your mat, and then inch those fingertips a little bit further out, and really anchor your forearms, your elbows down on the mat. And you can even, well, actually your forehead will need to move a little bit and your arms might need to keep creeping. We're going to roll right into a melting heart pose. So lifting the hips up above the knees, you might need to continue to walk the forearms forward, but keep them nice and anchored down, re-anchor once you inch forward. And then you can play with walking the fingertips a little bit more if you need it. And so we're taking this as a little bit of a counter to a long held child's pose. So feel that relief in the knees, just taking that deep bend out of them and lifting the hips. And then we're moving some sensation for the shoulders. And we won't be here for an extremely long time, but do try to soften, pressing the tops of the feet into the mat to relax the legs. I tend to hold my legs in place in this posture, so getting those feet grounded is helpful. If this is too much in the shoulders, you can bend one elbow at a time, or both of them, going back for those stacked bent elbows and stacked forearms here. We'll just stay a few breaths more, tailbone tilting up. Take another deep breath. And then start to bend those elbows if they're not already, and bring your wrists underneath your shoulders as you release. And we can come up into a cat pose and really just round up through the spine. Spend a couple nice breaths here. And then if you want to go between cat and cow, just move into that at your pace. And when you feel pretty good with that movement, we'll meet in a seated position. Take all the time you need. We had Remy join us since I looked at the screen last time. Hi, Remy. And And let's just take a little crisscross position of the legs for now. And sit up nice and tall. Sitting on my blanket, I don't know if I mentioned that, but using a prop here will help lift the hips. And let's come behind the back and interlace your fingers if it's available to you. So pulling the shoulders together, opening the chest, and just press your knuckles back and maybe lift the chin up here as you open. Take a few nice deep breaths here. Good. Now keep your hands interlaced, but just ease up on that opening of the chest. And go ahead and take your knuckles over to the right hip. So your left arm essentially is wrapped behind your back. And if that bind is not working, you can just, if you look at me, you can see my left hand is peeking around my waist, but just wrapping it behind the back as far as you can go is good. So bound or not, we'll find a little more space in the left shoulder. So tip your right ear toward your right shoulder and let both shoulders get relaxed. Really let the left shoulder get heavy. So feeling some length in the side of the neck, that trapezius muscle. Take another breath here. And then allow your chin to start to roll down toward your chest and keep the motion going, making a little half circle. And then coming back. Make it a continuous movement, continuous breath, but make it nice and slow. Eyes closed down is always good so you can tune into what's going on. Anywhere that feels really particularly tight, you can pause in stillness. And take about another round or two of breath here. And then release, especially if you had your hands bound, just go ahead and release your hands. Open everything up here. And then we'll come back for that bind. And this time we're taking the hands over to left hip. And again, it might just be that right arm wrapping behind the back, and you also have the benefit of grounding this left hand, just makes it a little more relaxed. And take your left ear to left shoulder when you're ready. Softening shoulders away from the ears. If your legs are getting at all uncomfortable, you can switch up the cross. I meant to cue that a moment ago. And then start to create that rolling of the neck, chin toward the chest, taking the right ear over to the right shoulder, then returning it back. Couple more breaths here. it when you're ready. One more little thing for the neck here. Stick your hands, interlace them behind the base of your skull. My thumbs are framing my neck here. And drop the chin into the chest. Still sitting up really nice and tall and without yanking on your head. You can use your hands to just create a little additional space here. Breathe into it. A couple more. Carefully release. If you would like, you can lean back here and release your head back. This is a little nice counter. And come back upright, changing our leg position slightly. Bring the soles together for butterfly legs or a cobbler pose. And I like to have my heels a little distance from the groin in the yin version of this posture. Of course, you can set up some blocks or a pillow or bolster as you get ready to fold forward. Maybe just have them nearby just in case. And sit up nice and tall. Take a big breath in. And on the exhale, start to round forward, walking the hands. Feeling your way in here. Knowing it's not about how close your knees are to the mat. In fact, I'm going to take my blocks underneath my knees here today. It's not about how close your chest gets to your legs. Just noticing all the good sensations that come up. Notice the sensations that maybe you wouldn't classify as good sensations, something that's a little uncomfortable. If it's painful, always back out, change the shape. If it's discomfort, see where you can use your breath. Let the face relax, let your jaw relax. Anywhere you might be gripping in the body, your legs, your arms. almost there. Just a little bit more. Take an inhale. And on your exhale, press into the floor. Lift your chest up. Slowly gather those knees back together. You can let your feet come apart to counter that rotation, the little internal rotation, windshield wipers. And we'll stay seated for our next set of postures here. I'm going to move my blanket out. Your mileage could vary on that. And we'll set up for a shoelace, either half or double shoelace. Before we go there though, let's bend your right knee and bring the sole of your foot inside your thigh. Be as close as feels comfortable for your body. Heel to sit bone. And then either, if you're really close in here, you'll probably want to wrap this left arm around your leg. If you're a little further out here, you might find a hooking of the elbow to the thigh. So we're finding a twist over to the right. I like this hugging for the outer hip can get a nice stretch here. And if you're leaning back on that right hand quite a bit, just find a little height in your spine to take a bit of weight out of there. Another round of breath here. Good, and then we'll release the twist and take this right foot across your left leg. And this could be at any point where you start to feel like you might be forcing something. You can stop at any point from here on out. Okay, so right foot is walking, heel toward left hip. And then in the process, my right knee is coming down. You know, I think all of y'all have done this pose with me before, but it's been a little bit. This is a place where I've got some space here between my knees, good place for a blanket. So this is our half shoelace. If you want to see how it goes doing a double shoelace, left heel, yeah, it looks like it's on my left, I'm all twisted up here. Left heel comes toward the right hip, and then the key here is trying to get that right sit bone grounded. So if it's way up off the mat, then maybe come back for that half version. If it's just a little teeny bit of space, you can also use a blanket there just to get that grounding. So heels snugged in, outer hips feeling some big love right now. And this may be where you work. If your hips are really down in the fire of sensation right now, just don't even feel the need to fold it forward. You can at any time take this into a forward fold, just like we did in cobblers, walking the hands forward. I'm going to stay upright for at least a few breaths myself. you do opt for that fold, know that you can land on a prop. The torso will end up pressing some additional weight on that top leg, which can be welcome, or it might not feel right. So never be afraid to try something out. Never be afraid to go back where you came from if it doesn't work for your body. Try to relax as much as you can into those legs and hips, finding that ease, even if it might not feel like there's any to be found. There's a lot going on. This pose can be pretty intense. That's the thing, though, that what's intense for me or any one of you may not be for everyone else, and vice versa. We all come from a different place every time we come to the practice. So moving into every moment with that grace and kindness for yourself. Take 2 more nice full breaths. And then start to release your fold if you came up. Lean back on the hands and very carefully unravel those legs. The more you feel, the better it gets when we release. So let yourself enjoy that if you're feeling feeling that good rebound. And of course, keep taking any movement that you need. And we'll set up our second side only when you're ready. Left foot coming in this time. Either wrapping the right arm as you twist or hooking. Breath here in your twist. Release back to center. Let the left foot come across the way. Heel inching in. Knee coming down. And because you took one version on one side doesn't necessarily mean you need to take it on the other, so just see how it goes, creating the same general shape. Once again, working for that grounding in the left sit bone here. your breath here, whether you're still upright or folding forward already. This stuff that most challenges us on the mat, off the mat. The stuff that we most grow from. Whether we're talking about physical asana or that part of the yoga practice that goes beyond the physical practice. It's sometimes hard to resist that urge, that flight urge when something doesn't feel so comfortable, so great. Not always our inclination to stay there. In this practice of yin in particular, the first minute in a pose is generally, it's about the time it takes our body, our nervous system to get that message that it's okay. We're able to sustain this, we're able to breathe. So, especially the poses that are pretty intense, such as maybe this one might be for you right now. When we can get past that knee-jerk reactive state and be in it for at least that first minute, that might be what it takes to stay the course. How many other situations is that true, right? That resisting the urge to react right away, taking a pause, taking a beat. Might yield some better results than a knee-jerk reaction. Just a little bit more here. Another breath in and let your breath out. Let go of your pose. Hear that thank you from your hips, both for the good work and for the release. You can Windshield wipe once again. And you might even flip around and pop up into a downward facing dog. You stretch out those legs. You can lift one leg at a time for a three-legged dog, or just pedal. That'll feel really good at the outer hips to pedal, walk the dog back and forth. And then let's move on to the belly once you are ready to go there. And if you're on a hard floor, there's a possibility that a blanket might feel good under your hips. Just unfold it so it's not too thick there, and just come into a nice prone shavasana here with either arms by your sides or one ear to the mat. Hands might stack. If you have one ear to the mat, go ahead and switch sides. And once you're ready from here, let's stretch the right arm forward and lift up slightly here. So maybe even come onto that forearm, elbow, and then thread your left arm underneath that right armpit. Left palm is facing up, and let yourself sink back down. Forehead might come to the mat. You can also use your right palm here to bridge that space a little bit, or use a block under there if that's not too much. The idea here is to get a little weightiness here through your right shoulder. You can think of it as your right armpit, kind of working its way down toward the left arm. We're coming back for this shoulder joint that we visited in our melting heart pose. Stretching from a very different angle here. And once you're ready for it, let's add in the right knee. So dragging that knee across the floor, coming up to a half frog Spider-Man position, bringing your knee toward your left arm that's threaded under. And then just like you're dropping your right shoulder, also letting the right hip be heavy here. here. And then start to slide your right hand in. And some of you might remember this transition. We're pressing into the floor with the right hand. Keep this right knee bent and roll your back onto the ground, coming into a spinal twist here. And letting that shoulder breathe here. So feel that. And this right knee is still crossed. This nice spinal twist. Move your shoulders to try to ground through the right shoulder, but just land it on the floor. If this feels really good where you're at, you can keep the legs as they are. You can also slide a prop under this right knee or wrap the legs up into eagle legs. So right leg is over the left. And then your bottom leg kind of becomes almost a support for the top. We'll spend just a few more breaths here in this nice twist. When you're ready, go ahead and unwind. You might be a little off center on your mat, so you can work your way back. And take a nice full body stretch here. Stretch out, release. And once you're ready, let's come back onto the belly. This time, in between our two sides, let's add in a little Sphinx back bend. So prop up on your elbows, let the chest be lifted. Let your legs relax. Maybe the chin drops down into the chest. Shoulders are softened away from the ears. Let's take about 5 or 6 breaths here. With that in mind, if you want to press up into seal for a deeper back bend, you are more than welcome. Knowing we won't be here too long. And we'll release out of Sphinx. Chest coming down. Maybe give your heels a quick side to side or hips to release the low back. And once you're ready, we'll extend the left arm forward, pressing to lift a bit and threading this right arm underneath. Remember that the right palm is facing up as you come back down. Softening the forehead to the mat, to the back of your hand, to a block. Letting the weight of that left side of the body, left shoulder, come down a bit. What I mean by that is we can really let ourselves off the hook a bit with regard to sensation by kind of rolling open on this left side. So just keeping grounded over there. And of course, if you do need to lessen the sensation, just work with your body. right hand dominant. You're probably noticing a little bit more happening over here than the other side, possibly, maybe. Keeping the breath going. We'll add in that left knee, sliding it up for half rod. Another couple breaths more here. You can start to bring that left hand in, pressing into the floor, keeping the knee crossed over as you roll onto your back into this nice spinal twist. Releasing that right shoulder, letting that feel good. Our shoulder girdle is super complex. Got actually 4 joints in there. This ball and socket joint is the main one. And of course there's just a world of connective tissue in there, so lots of things that can get tight, lots of things that can also get injured. So in any yoga practice, really take care of those shoulders, take care of the whole body, of course. I was listening. Something doesn't feel right. Making a change. And of course, you can slide this into that ego legs if you did on the other side. That feels good. A few more breaths here. Releasing your twist as you are ready. Coming back over onto the mat. This blanket is, if you have a blanket, it's probably okay where it is. We're going to bookend this with another little back bend here. If you have a block, I highly recommend using a block or something under your tailbone. Bend your knees, press into your feet, lift the hips, slide that prop under your tailbone. Not too much height. Make it yin-like here. Not using too much effort or strain here. And resting the sacrum. When we keep it low like this, you can even stretch your legs out and really get into the hip flexors with straight legs here. Still keep this nice back bend going. Even in our supported bridge, you can Work your shoulder blades closer together. And that just really gives a good opening through the heart. When we bend the back, we open the heart. Always, always. Feel that expansion of your whole thoracic cavity here, your chest, your rib cage, your abdomen. Once you're ready, you will get the feet underneath your knees, bending knees, lifting the hips to release your prop and pulling the spine back down to the mat. Option here to either open your knees, soles of the feet together for butterfly, Supta Baddha Konasana, reclined butterfly, or you can use those windshield wipers again. As you're set, make your way toward your Shavasana, taking anything you need along the way. Checking in with yourself here at the opposite end of your practice. Notice how your practice has resonated in your body. Still trying to refrain from any judgmental thoughts about how anything turned out. With this acceptance, this love for self. And just allow yourself to be here. And allow your mind, your body, your energy and breath, your thoughts, let it all just be. Only when you feel completely ready to move back into awareness, bring yourself back to your body by deepening your breath. Invite in any small movement. Stretch out or curl up, whatever you need. Taking it all on your way to a seated position. And once you get there, we'll let the arms stretch out to your sides like a T, arms facing up, palms up. With a breath in, lift those arms up high. Bring your palms together and bring your thumbs down to your hairline for good thoughts. Bring your thumbs to your lips for kind words, and down to your heart center for kind actions. Those are toward each other and toward ourselves, all of those things. And as we honor our time together and one another, bowing our chin to the chest, we stay together. Namaste. Thank you all so very much.